The central bank has merged 5 banks to form the Consolidated Bank Ghana Limited. According to the central bank, besides failing to meet its minimum capital requirement, some officials of these banks were involved in certain criminalities in their operations. On News Connect today, share with us what it will mean to you whether or not these officials are prosecuted. My name is Kojo Achman and this is News Connect on City TV. Stay tuned.
In banking, there is a criteria, a level which you have to catch or get in before you call yourself a bank. For you to become a universal bank, there are some huge of amount or a tax of amount which government is demanding from you.
Now it is requiring 400 million cedis as the minimum capital requirement.
And these banks, they don't have it, but they 45 figures to get there. So now that the government of Ghana or Bank of Ghana has realized that they are not doing the right thing, then I think merging them is the best way, because when they merge, there is a strength in unity. Unity is strength. So whenever you come together with a good management board, then we will get to where we are going. But for them to be separately, but they cannot perform, is killing Ghanaians. As a businessman, me here, I'm a businessman, and I take many loans from my banks. You see, so if the banks are giving loans and they cannot return the money, or we are not paying returns, then it means we are deliberately killing the banks. But we should also help them by paying these loans that we take. But it is very bad on their behalf also to give the loans to themselves or their families. It's very bad. So to me, for government of Ghana, for Bank of Ghana to bring them together or merging them, I don't see anything bad about it at all.
All right, now let's move to the subject on the minds of many. Okay. Do you think we should just merge them and then leave the directors for them to go, or you want punitive measures to be taken against these directors who saw the bank fail?
There was something that goes wrong. That was the reason why they are merging them. That means they've done something wrong, so there should be a punishment for those directors. Because the money that they've taken, it wasn't anybody that used the money. They've given it to their friends, their family, and instead of them taking the money back, they can't do that because they're all, in the same corporation. That's the reason. So they need to be punished. If not that, it will keep on going on year and year, and nothing good will happen to the country. If we leave them that way, they should be punished.
Well, I think it's in the right direction, because for all you know, this thing has been going on for a long time, and it's high time the Bank of Ghana does something about it. Because at the end of the day, the citizens or the clients or customers that are saving at those banks who will be affected. You see, so I think it's in the right direction.
So apart from merging these banks, Unibank, Sovereign Bank, Royal Bank, Beige Bank, and then Construction Bank, do you think that the directors of these banks, because names have emerged, we have Mike Hinaku of Beige Capital, Stephen Koji of Construction Bank, and others, do you think that we should go beyond just merging these banks and then punish the directors of these so-called failed banks?
Yeah, I think so. If there are indications that shows that these people that you just mentioned supervise some illegalities, then I think why not? They are criminals, so they
alleged criminals.
That's what I'm saying. It should be looked into, because you don't just be operating as if you are operating in a vacuum, and Bank of Ghana being the mother, playing that supervisory. Yes, it should go beyond that, and so that we all see, why these kind of things happen in our system. For all you know, it could be happening for maybe 10, 20 years ago. You see, it tells a lot about how our systems are failing. So I think if the Bank of Ghana, Central Bank, is doing this at this time, it's better late than never. So I think they should also be looked at.
I think some of them didn't have the actual requirements to set up a bank and all that. I think the Bank of Ghana should actually go to those directors who they think that they have breached the law and get them out.
It's a shocking news to me when I heard the story. And what I think about the license, I will urge the Bank of Ghana to do an investigation. Actually, they have to do an investigation into that, because I don't quite believe in that. Yeah, because these banks, the Beige Capital, and they have been operating for some time now.
Beige was a savings and loans company before.
Oh yeah, so it was turned into a bank, and they've been operating now that they are coming out. And about the non-performing loans that we were talking about, I think they have to investigate, go after the directors and the shareholders. Because what I know is most of them, when this thing happens, they take those big money loans to set up businesses, like for example microfinances and estate developing, this kind of companies and those kind of things. So I think most of the money, I'm sure, would have been with these directors.
You know, if you look at the establishment of this bank, some of them were 2016, before elections. 2016, 2018, 2 years, and they are down. Come on, so you couldn't look at the sustainable...
Hold on. Beige was a savings and loans company. The others two were in existence, and then most of them acquired their license at around that year, 2016.
Yeah. So if they acquired license 2016, 2018, 2 years. But we have banks that have been in the system for almost 50 years, 20 years, 30 years, decades. So what is the difference? You understand? These are some of the things you have to look at, the sustainable culture of everything that we do as a nation. And we lack that as a nation. So that is the problem we are facing. Secondly, system failure. We don't have a correct system. Everything in this part of our world is corrupt. Everything in this part of our world is not working. You understand? And finally, political influence. Because some of these banks acquire licenses because they were owned by certain politicians, and now those parties are not in power. Some of these banks are owned by they finance certain companies, certain political parties, and now they don't have their monies back. And these are a whole lot of things. Now look at people, almost everything that happens, the grassroots suffer. That is the ordinary individual. They suffer.
This leads me to my next question. Now, the subject on the minds of many is that, should we just merge the banks and that will be it? Or should we take a step and go after or punish these directors who were behind these banks? I'll start with you.
Well, like I'm saying, if you look at it, it is an initial step. Okay, so then when the step is taken, then we look at it, like I initially said, holistically. Try to tackle the whole thing from the root problem. How do they get their license in the first place? What are the processes they go through to getting it? Is it the right way? Or do they meet the requirements to get it? So that when so I would say that this can be like, we can use this as, they can use them as scapegoats, to deter others, from repeating the same thing. So, like I said, the merger is a step in the right direction. That's the first step. Then we cannot look at it, in a wider angle and see how we can prevent this. Okay, so as that's what I believe. The first step is to get this merger is right. Save the public, get them as one, and then you look at other areas too.
Merging these banks is not enough. A cross-section of the public wants punitive actions taken against the directors and shareholders of these banks, whose actions have contributed to the collapse of these banks. This has been another episode of News Connect on City TV. My name is Kojo Ajman. Let's connect soon.